So Amazon's plans to launch a service to compete with Temu, that
Timu.
Temu,
Yeah, Timu.
that ships directly from China. How do you see this affecting Amazon's market position, and do you believe the venture will be successful?
Um,
Amazon is a monster. You can't
yeah,
play with. Don't play with monsters.
no, this is my baby. It's one of my favorite picks. Amazon is up. Club holding since 2019. I don't know if I love this move, but if anyone can figure it out, it's them. I know they have to find a way to compete with China. I don't know if they need to compete on the trinket business, but um, and people keep asking how to get exposure into international markets, India, China. I keep saying it through American companies that have deep relationship and headquarters in those countries. Amazon would be one of them. This is one way to get exposure. I don't love the idea, but Amazon's been on a tear. It opened up at 151 this year. It's at 197 right now.
Mhm.
If anybody can figure it out, it's them. I don't love the idea of it, but I'm hella bullish on Amazon. And then in 2 years, I have them going to 263.19. So I'm bullish on them overall.
Yeah, it's interesting. It just reminds me of when they decide to come into a space, they come to conquer. And so Timu is if you're not familiar, I mean, it's just, they. I felt like they just popped up out of nowhere. I just started seeing commercials about them, and then during the Super Bowl, they were I'm like, wait, they had 10 ads run. So Timu is like an online e-commerce like discount site. So it's like almost a Five Below for like e-com for items, clothes, and then Sheen is another online discounted merchandise site. So those two have been in the space, and they've Sheen that valuation actually got cut down, but was extremely profitable over the past 3 years. They've decided that we want that market now too, right?
Yeah.
We're going to become the discounted online marketplace for that customer base, specifically in China. How do we grow the base? Well, we'll make things more affordable. We've seen this happen. This is like early days, earning leisure, when we talked about diapers.com, where we come into a space, we'll make it discounted. We'll make it even more discounted than they can. What will happen? We'll take your customer base, and then eventually we'll buy you out and close your company down. Now, will that happen here? I don't know, but it feels like the same strategy. They don't have to do this. They're the number one e-commerce business in the world. But
better to hedge and be there than before it's too late. I think that the big thing the Van is trying to stress in the conversation that y'all have, like, the time is now. There is no next year. Drake, I love the Camila Cabello vibe you get. Ain't it? This year, my boy, put something out. Cool. Now is not the time to rest and be like, no, I'm gonna wait and see and I'm gonna dabble. No. Get to China, get to India, get to InvestFest to hear what Will.i.am is doing and how to deploy tech and build small language models, and there's some conversations that are being had. You're going to look up in 2 years, the same way some of you missed out on NVIDIA 2 years ago, listening to the dodos who may not like us. And I know I can be obnoxious as hell, but I'm accurate as fuck when it comes to this investing. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. The time is now, though.
This is what they actually. This is crazy. So like Amazon, when I say they told Chinese merchants in an invite-only meeting on Wednesday that the new online budget marketplace will feature non-branded fashion items, household goods, and daily necessities, which will ship directly to consumers from a warehouse on the mainland in 9 to 11 days. 9 to 11 days. So, once they figure out the logistics, that 9 to 11 will turn 5 to 7.
Yep.
5 to 7 will turn into 2 to 3, and then it'll be. I mean, it's gonna be tough to be next day trying to such a large space, but this is the entry point. This is the entry point. So, Sheen, Timu, you are on the clock.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
NVIDIA. Let's talk about NVIDIA. Is there nowhere else to go for returns these days?
Yeah, it's up and stuck and to the right.
Stay there.
I mean, 70% of people, secondary market going crazy on NVIDIA shares. 70% of people that were hired in the last 4 years are millionaires as a result. Probably the most important company for this new era that we're ushering in. Hedge funds love them. Pension funds love them. Like sometimes, and I've been saying this too, like, I know you guys have a desire for more information, but more information is going to keep you from getting rich because you're trying to outsmart what has already been figured out. This is what I love. And Trevor Shah, I love you. They showed me that account. and I'm up 200,000-300,000. I've been beating the drum on this for a long time. So normally halfway through the decade, you guys can go look, like around the 4th year or 5th year in the decade, there's a clear winner. And just happens to be last decade. It was Apple's decade. It's looking like it's going to be NVIDIA'S now. Don't fight the trend. Because the AI space, the sector is so important that there's going to be a preeminent company in the sector. Now, when quantum computing takes off in 6 or 7 years, it may swing back someone's way. When OpenAI goes public, we may have another conversation on if 2029 through 2035 will be their time to reign supreme. But NVIDIA is the king of the hill right now. Keep holding. And if you've missed out, shout out to everybody in Stock Club who got in that 118 on swing trade price. If you haven't got in, join Red Panda. Get rich and you'll be good.
Yeah, I think I mean, I heard analysts on some of these networks saying, I'm not in NVIDIA. And then the next question is, should you have a part of your portfolio? And they're like, I mean, you don't have to, but because there's so other many companies that have growth. But I'm going to disagree. I think it needs to be part of your portfolio.
Must be.
We saw it touch 140. We saw it pull back down to 118. It's kind of sat around the 122 to 125 range over the past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about a company that, again, has already given you future guidance, has already given you the future products, they just had
the most confidence ever in guidance.
I listened to the investor call last week. They're like, this is going to be the best selling product that we're ever going to have in the history of the company. So you know where that's going. The other part of it is and we talked about this operating cash flow, right? Last year they did 28 billion. Like we always talk about, Apple has 192, and Microsoft was at 100, but NVIDIA had a cash flow of 28.5 billion last year. This year, already halfway through the year, they're at 15.7. So they're already ahead of the curve. The issue is, and I'm starting to hear this chatter now, is like the government won't allow them, right? When we talk about mergers and acquisitions, you're already the #1 market cap company in the world. The process of trying to acquire a company,
y'all tried to push Intel. Oh boy, on YouTube, you gonna tell me I'm right yet? And here's the thing about the government: if they have a big loss, they're gonna have to get behind the wave. Free the wave. Shout to Sue Surf.
Free the wave. Yeah.
If you don't get behind it, you're gonna get run over. And what happens hypothetically if Jensen get mad and just say, well, let me just open up some other headquarters overseas closer to
optional. But the other interesting part, and this is
that's
why
the big warrant,
you have to be in, I feel like you have to have it as part of your portfolio at some point, is that there's an opportunity for the stock buyback. That's been the chatter over the past couple of weeks. It's like at some point you have nowhere to put the money. So
they have to buy the stocks back. Yep.
So what happens to the actual equity price when companies buy the stocks back? They shoot up, right? There's less shares. Now there's more value for each share that you had. So if that happens, I mean, where are we going? 200?
To the moon.
They have to do something with the money.
Yep. Crypto family, hold on for long term, but y'all will have y'all moment too. I know Bitcoin is going through a little bit of a decline, but and that's why I keep saying, like, I don't, even with the right wing thing, I'm like, damn, we black and we right wing and never had nobody right wing on. Stop paying attention to people who are trying to get you to not listen to our message while giving you freedom, while the people who are detractors of us won't give you a motherfucking thing. It's $100 grand for Nipsey. Steve Harvey about to invite you to Mallorca and Family Feud. I don't know nobody who get what. Come on. And then when we have these conversations about OpenAI, shout out to everybody in tech. You don't see Elon. Yo, you must hate Elon. You won't never have a conversation with Elon. See or no?
True.
I'm gonna say everything that the Van couldn't say. Shout out to Van for his candor. Hot swap and all. No, just follow. They don't want y'all to continue to listen, because if so, you're going to start to see through the veil that all these other people were talking were never here to help you in the first place, like the Democrats do with us until this election time. Democrats do better.
I appreciate that you censored yourself just earlier. That
Thank you.
was real self-control.
I am too.
Before we leave, let's talk about Chipotle and its upcoming stock split.
Everyone's asking, should you invest in Chipotle? Wait till the split. We'll give a price.
Oh, it's split. It's split.
Oh, yeah.
It split last week.
Hold on, let me look. CMG. Shout out to Yo Gotti. I like Chipotle at $46.58 if it gets down there as an entry price, and then a quicker price. If it gets down to $59.35, you can build a position starting there. After splits, stocks do come down, so be patient. You will have time to get in. One of the best run companies ever. I know McDonald's is probably upset they let this go a few years ago or a decade ago. But yeah, those are the two prices I like for Chipotle.
Yeah, running.
Yep.
I'm actually waiting for it to draw down a little bit more. Obviously I talked about it for the past 3 years. I did not have a position in Chipotle. It is an interesting one. I'm looking at that, but I'm also looking at Wingstop too. Because if you look at the chart, look at the growth, it's very enticing. It's very enticing. But yeah, shout out to everybody that was in Chipotle and during the pandemic and just kind of rode this wave all the way up. It's been a hell of a journey. My gosh.
Hell of a run. Stay focused on what pays you and what matters. Whew. And I promise the second half of the year I'll try and be less obnoxious too, but listen to what I'm telling you.